Hey, 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 hey. What's happening? Everybody doing today? It is finally getting chilly in Dallas. It was quite chilly last night for the first time. Open up my windows here a little bit. Who got out there today? Say hello. How you doing? Let me know if you've never been on the show before. Hello, hello. Can anybody hear me? Hi, Bob. Hi, yes. Hey, Paul. Here they come. Hey, Sue. How is it going?
Screen up here too.
Oh yeah.
Gets weird on the replays when we just hear voices and not screens.
Can't see anything. We have no video.
There we go.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, Stefan. Hey, Kath. How's it going? Shiv, welcome. Shiv Singh, just first time here. Just picked up Serp Tech 2 days ago. Welcome, 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 welcome. Good to have you here. There's lots of training in your members area, Shiv, in case you haven't already seen all that. There's quite a bit of tutorials and, gosh, hard to describe all what's in there, but lots and lots of good stuff. We've been holding these webinars for, when did we start these? May? I think we started these in May, almost every week. We try to do them every week. Sometimes things come up in our lives, and we reschedule, things like that. But yes, welcome, Shiv. How you doing, Ian? How you doing, Stuart? Get my windows resized here a little bit. Okay, that's better. Hi, Sylvie. From sunny and warm Montreal. It's sunny and warm in Montreal? How's the weather in Edmonton, Herc? Is it getting nice and snowy?
Well, no, the snow's gone again, but it's cold and it's not cool, man. It's just not cool.
Just cold. All right, cool, cool, cool. Oops, lost my questions box there. Hold on a second. Okay. All right, let's see here. We are about 4 minutes past the hour. Looks like it's a little bit light right now. I still see some more people coming on. It's bumping up here a little bit. We've got a couple of exciting participants today who are already on with us.
Yeah, sorry, I keep typing. I'm kind of typing in the background. I forget to mute. Let me mute.
It's all right. Oh, guess we should have.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. How's it going?
It's the square. It's the square and the arrow, guys, and it will undock.
I see someone from Spruce Grove here. That's like 20 minutes from me.
Yeah, I saw that too. Stuart, yeah. We've had Stuart on before. Guess what? Raining in the UK, says James. Gosh, I know. I hear that all the time. It's always kind of rainy. When we were up there in the UK, it was nice that weekend. Remember, Herc?
Yeah, it was hot. Yeah, we did a lot of walking.
We did. We were like, oh, let's just walk right over here, and got lost.
Nice and hilly, too. That was great.
It was. We were in
Whereabouts
Dublin.
were you?
Ireland.
Oh, right.
In, what was that town? Dublin.
Yeah,
Dublin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
About a year ago. Raining in Melbourne, Florida, says Barton. Sunny and warm in Maui. But Tim says he's in Seattle for a few days. Well, welcome to the mainland. Seattle is also rainy a lot. Yes, Keith, we sampled the Guinness like a lot more than sampled.
And the Jameson too.
Yeah, that Guinness was so good. It was like drinking chocolate cake. Yeah.
Oh man, I do a very wicked chocolate and Guinness cake. I'll send you the recipe.
Mmm.
Mmm.
I'd rather have the cake.
Dominique from Maine says it's warm, but he's waiting for the snow. Yes, I think all of the snow for us over here is about to start coming. Well, not in Texas, really. I mean, we might get snow once or twice in December and January. That's about it.
I'm in Arizona, and I'm just waiting for it to drop below 100.
The desert.
Yesterday.
The desert.
Let's kick this one off. Let's get going. I do have to leave a bit early today, guys. So we're probably going to go to for 90 minutes this time instead of our usual 120. Everybody
let's do it.
ready? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start here, guys. You'll obviously, one of the things you might be noticing is you're hearing a couple voices, new voices, or they should be familiar to you. If you've watched replays or been on webinars, you're also seeing a couple new, well, the same voices are attached to the same names that you're seeing in our presenters list. So we have Natalie and Jeremiah on with us now as presenters. And it's kind of due to a popular demand. They've both been on webinars in the past, sharing some of their valuable insights. They're both extremely successful in their business with SerpTech, and because of that, we wanted to have them come on to these webbies because they have a different take on things. I don't want you guys always learning how to do things my way. I think it's important to look at other successful ways of doing things, and Jeremiah and Natalie are both great examples of that. They have a lot to teach you that I cannot because they just do things in a different way. So I just think it's going to help everyone a lot to have their input into things. So everybody say hello to Jeremiah and Natalie. Let them see your comments because this is their first time they actually get to see all the chat box comments as well. There you go. Hi.
Hey, guys.
Howdy. Sorry, I can't see any comments. I don't know if I've got an ID 10T error, as in idiot, but I'm not seeing it. But
oh, if you go to the questions, I said chat box, but it's not chat box. It's questions box.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's
gotcha. Oh my God! Hello. Hey, Bob. Oh yeah, I see loads of people there. Okay, that's lovely. Thank you.
Yep,
And you can pop it out too, Nat. Make it a lot bigger.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So just for Jeremiah and Nat, chat box is for when we want to talk to each other or send out like a link to the entire group. Questions box is actually our members on individually. You can see their names and their comments and timelines and shit like that. And that's how we do our Q&A, which is primarily, guys, going to be what we're going to do today. I'm debating whether I want to go over Project Supremacy V3 schema with you or not. I don't want to confuse anyone. Up until this point right now, V2 schema is a better solution for you guys. And the number one, the videos on how to do that is already in the members area. Number two, V3 is a little more complicated in its nature, but we've been working so hard on that, and there's a lot of changes coming. A guy named Terry Samuels, that a lot of you probably will know, has been I've been like pushing him really hard to like use, because he loves V2 schema. He's a real pro at it. He absolutely is a huge endorser of it, and he's a great guy to be able to teach V2 schema. But I've been forcing him to use V3 more, just because it's where we're going, and that product is just, it's got more schema, it's got more options, it's stuff like that. But there's a lot of bottlenecks with V3 schema that we're trying to eliminate. And Terry's been super helpful in helping us do that. So there's a lot of changes coming. So for that reason, I don't quite want to cover it yet, but I'll tell you this, V3 schema is going to surpass V2 schema for ease of use as well as quickness of being able to launch schema on specifically Serp tech sites, because the way I look at it right now is like this. V2 schema and V3 schema, there's basically two types of uses for schema in our personal, this group scenario. There's schema for Serp tech sites, and then there's just schema for every other type of site out there in the world, literally every other type. And the main difference and the reason for the two categories is Serp tech sites are multi-page, multi-location sites, meaning that when you build a schema, a lot of you, like, typically it's going to be like a local business type schema or organization type schema. And you're building in multiple cities, in multiple states, with multiple pages. It's the assigning of the schema that becomes the bottleneck. So with V2, what we typically have taught is create a single local business schema entity and then just assign it to all pages. And that would be more like useful for if you were in a single state or if you were in a single city. Then for the address portion of that local schema, you would only supply the state and not the city. But if you were in a city and in a suburb scenario, you would only supply the city, so that your schema actually made a little bit of sense across all those pages. But now when we get into a scenario where we have 4 states with 30 cities per state, that's 120 different locations, and we built a homepage schema. The tough part about that is that because it's 4 states, you'd have to create 4 different schemas and apply them to those category of pages, which that becomes the bottleneck of both V2 and V3. With V2, you create a local business schema, make it site-wide, then you'd have to log into every single page and adjust that address if you wanted to have, you know, that level of detail in your schema, which ultimately you should. So that becomes a bottleneck. But with V3, we're really working hard on that bottleneck, and we're going to be able to help speed up that process due to the help that we're getting from Terry, due to like the amount of, you know, understanding and detail that we're working on, not only on understanding schema and its structures and its properties, but also the way that our developers, you know, decided to build our schema software. And we really need to understand how that works from a user's background as much as from a coder's background. So it has been challenging, and it is coming. I've been building a lot of schema lately with V3, and it's going to be really good. So I don't think I'll cover that today. I just want to let you guys know that V3 schema is going to be massively improved very shortly, within the next week or two. And then once that's done, we can have a webinar where I'll take you and show you specifically how to build, you know, schema for multiple pages and stuff like that. But there's lots of updates coming, guys. So number 1 is this. So this right here alone, if you go into V3 and you click on schemas, this new getting started with schema editor is going to hugely help you understand more like how this whole thing works, because I know it's been a bit of a confusion point for people. So enough about that. That's what's going to come. So really, for the rest of the hour and 15 minutes that we have, guys, I guess we can just go into a general Q&A again, as well as get some feedback from Jeremiah and Natalie this time on a lot of your questions. So if you actually, guys, because we now have a lot of presenters on, rather than asking questions just general in nature, it would be really great if you had a certain person that you wanted to direct that question towards, that you say, you know, question for Jeremiah, or a question for Natalie, or a question for Herc or Jason or Todd or whatever, just so that we don't all start speaking over each other, because now we have 5 presenters on, and we want to keep some sort of organization going. So let's start with that, guys. If you have any questions, or if you want to do site reviews once again, just throw up your URL and we can take a look at what's going on with your sites. Let me close that. Was I muted that whole time? Hopefully not. No, I wasn't.
No, you were fine.
Okay. God, good. Does anybody, I don't have a single question yet, guys. Nobody wants to have a site review or ask any questions. We've got 2 new coaches on. Maybe you're taking your time to
I
write
was
them.
kind of wondering if there was anyone out there, because there's no questions at all.
Maybe everybody knows everything finally, which would be awesome.
Okay, then I've got some questions.
Mm-hmm. Give me a 1 if you have a question. Give me a 2 if you're all good and you just want us to present.
That's funny. It's 7 a.m. It's 7 a.m. and it's too early to think. I get that.
There's literally, this is the first time I've ever seen this. There's no questions. Everybody's saying 2, just present, but we really don't have anything new to present.
I have a question. Can I put it out there?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Right. I've been having a few sort of affiliate deals coming across my sort of desk at the moment. One of them is for $2,000 per lead for an affiliate deal that came across in a program that I presented, that I worked with, and I did really well with. And I want to use SerpTech to narrow in on that market, because let's face it, $2,000 a lead is good money. So if anyone has any ideas on how I can use SerpTech and PSV3 to sort of capitalize on this really good opportunity, I would love to hear it. It's basically, it's Amazon. Yeah, go for it.
Is the product localized in any way, and is it a single? Like, I'd have to know more about the product, right? First of all.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to get you to like release your market or anything, but
no, it's cool. It's Amazon training for product sales. I released a product on Amazon and did really well with it. And it's worldwide and it's pretty much evergreen.
So the product is Amazon training?
Pretty much teaches you how do you find a product, how do you private label it, how do you release it, send it to market. But the affiliate deal is £2,000 per lead. They're huge, these guys. They're world leaders. And I just would wonder how you guys would approach that.
Keyword research, and I'll show you that. A combination of good keyword research and the URL generator, because it does get a little bit tricky to start understanding. You know, when you have an affiliate with a local market, it's easy, right? You know, you're going to target certain states and certain cities, or certain cities and certain suburbs, and those are going to be your categories. You have multiple categories that are easy to do. With affiliate products, it gets a little trickier, because you have to start thinking, okay, what are my tags going to be? What are my categories going to be? What are my keywords going to be? Stuff like that, right? So you need to start.
I've been struggling with that.
Yeah, it's definitely more challenging. So in that regards, what I typically try to do is go to an idea generation, and keyword supremacy is absolutely great for this. If you log into your keyword supremacy, and anybody that doesn't have a keyword supremacy account, you can grab one for free. I'll show you how to do this, because this part of keyword supremacy is actually free. Oh, I gotta use a different browser. Hang on. So I'll pop this link into the group as well. Yeah. Oh, for Christ's sakes! Of course it's gonna do updates. Ghost browser. Come on. Who's faster? Okay. Ghost browser was. Okay, so guys, what I'm showing you right now, what I'm about to show you is in keyword supremacy, and you can do this for free. But if you don't have a keyword supremacy account, this is software that Todd and I created. Of course, it is ours. It's under the Supremacy brand. That should be obvious. This little button right here, create a free account, will allow you to create a free account with keyword supremacy. And then the answer to Nat's question is what I'm going to cover now. So she's kind of like got a product that, just to clarify again, that it's Amazon training, right? You're muted, by the way.
Sorry, yeah.
It's an
I was
Amazon
answering a question.
training product?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first thing I would do is like, I need a list of Amazon keywords just to start even looking at, okay, what keywords that are obviously, this is obvious, the one thing that's going to be kind of relevant to all the keywords you're targeting is that it's an Amazon product, right? So what I would do is go to Keyword Supremacy, use the Google tab and just type in Amazon and let it start suggesting a bunch of keywords for you. And I would also click Get All Metrics. This part, guys, if you do want to get metrics, these credits that's where it will cost money. But the free part, it'll just start giving you ideas of Amazon so that you can start creating keyword lists. So another one to do. So like, let's start like a notepad here. So Amazon. So you're probably gonna have Amazon training. You're gonna have stuff like Amazon selling. Stuff like that, and even these keywords I would take, these could end up being your categories: training, selling, Amazon, drop shipping, right? These kind of categories. You could, if you have access to the course or a link to the course materials, you could start picking up tips on what the course methodologies are. So like if they have module 1 is training, module 2 is selling, drop shipping, these start becoming really good categories. Right off the bat, right?
I like that. Okay, I get it. So like break it down into the specifics rather than sort of going for an all-encompassing.
Yeah, it's a really easy way to start trying to understand what your category should be. And if you kind of have no idea, the product itself, the sales page of the product will help, because if it is a course that they're selling, they will have a course syllabus, right? And that syllabus will tell you what the modules are. And then for each of these modules, these could become your categories. All right, now what's your keywords going to be? You can either start looking through these keywords, or you can even be more specific. So you have a category for Amazon training. What keywords do you want to target within Amazon trading? Put that keyword back in. Let it suggest, you know, all these things like Amazon training workshops. There you go. You could start finding keywords like this. Amazon training and certification portal. Now these become great keywords. They become great LSI keywords and stuff like that are all broken down by category to help you build.
Got it.
And that's kind of how I would do that. It comes from keyword research, and it comes from just like an upper level thinking of what is my product, what am I trying to sell, and how do I categorize it.
Cool. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, so we have some questions coming in. Kevin, you have a Forex site, so forexfx.info. So Kevin has a Serp tech site that he's built that will be overlaid by a money site selling Forex training, but it's built with Herc's affiliate build model. Want to review it? I'll review this, Kevin, in the exact same way. I like this example right now, by the way, because it is a little bit of a, it's not a local, you know, the thing that most people show. With Serp tech, they're usually showing locals. So this one being an affiliate style of build, I really appreciate you sharing that, and I'll kind of go over it with people right now. What I noticed right away, number one, I'm always going to look at his categories, right? So he has currency trading, Forex, and FX, which is foreign exchange. It's kind of another name for Forex. So those are his categories. You can see down in the bottom left right here where my mouse is on the hover over, currency trading, Forex, and then FX, which is another term for FX. So let's click into one of those. And then, so for his category base, he has training. And then, so for keywords, let's go take a look at some of them. So we have currency trading, learn to trade Forex trading strategy. So you got really, really good URL structure and stuff. Really, really good. So then, that's just a basic look at the site and how your brain worked to construct the categories and stuff like that. The next thing is really just analyzing how's the site doing. I see 644. I do know for a fact that anything in the foreign exchange market, typically when you move out of local into affiliate, which really means you're going national, you're not going after a geographical location, you're more competitive. So it's going to be a little bit harder to rank for those type of terms. So I don't expect to take a lot of these terms and go find keywords right away. This would take a little bit more SEO on the back, but if you did, like, great job, of course. Are you tracking keywords at all, Kevin Butler? And if you are, how's it going so far? Ooh, how to trade binaries. How to trade Forex, invest in Forex. Yeah, this is Forex, binary, FX. Like, you are in a competitive market. I do know that for sure. So you're going to have to do some SEO to this site probably. You built it 10 days ago, not tracking yet. Okay. Yeah, I do know that this will be a bit more challenging just because it is a big market. But yeah, I would definitely suggest tracking some keywords just to see if you're getting any traction. I'd expect to see stuff like anywhere from page 4 to page 10. Okay, yeah, he said he's not tracking it because he's waiting for the indexation to stop bouncing up and down. Anybody else have any more input on that site?
Yeah, can I respond to 2 questions real quick? One directed to me and then one that was just a general question.
Yep.
Okay, so James, to answer your question about the post that I made on July 12th about the paper lead, that actually had to be put on hold as there was a major family crisis with my client and with one of his partners, which pretty much changed the business structure. So until they get things figured out on their end, they asked me to put things on hold because they're trying to deal with that. It came out of nowhere. So as of now, that project is on pause. It will start back up. They're just waiting to get everything reorganized on their end and get ready for it. And then the other one was from Stefan. And is it okay if I read off the question? Or
Yes, of course. Yeah, I usually do.
Okay, so Stefan said I have made a few lead gen sites that are generating about 5 to 8 visitors a day. I have call tracking on them. They're generating about 1 call a month. These sites are targeting a certain niche in a state, and they're not generating enough calls for my clients to get satisfied. Any ideas how to approach this? Couple ideas there. What I would do is, actually, Stefan, before I say that, can you post in the chat real quick if you're answering the phone calls that are coming in yourself, or how are you handling the incoming call? I don't know if Stefan is still with us.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes a while to type out answers.
Okay, the client is answering. Have you spoken with your client to see if when somebody calls in, they're all coming from the same city, or is it varied? Okay, what I would do, he responded with it varies. What I would do then is put together a list of 4 or 5 of where the callers are saying that they're coming from. Do 2 things. One, do localized SEO on those specific pages. And then, hold on. Oh no, that's not it. And then, to boost those specific pages, then I would put a Facebook retargeting pixel on the pages that you're getting phone calls from, and run a Facebook retargeting campaign to those visitors. It probably costs you $5-6 to run a retargeting campaign if you're only generating a few clicks a day. So that would be my suggestion of how to go about that. The second thing that you could do is, again, look at the cities where those phone calls are coming from and actually just run a Facebook advertising campaign. Is your client that you're sending these calls to, is he paying you per month or is he paying you per lead? Oh, he's paying you per lead. Okay, well then, yeah, you'd have to decide if you want to run a Facebook ad campaign for that or not then. I know for a couple of my sites where the clients are paying me per month, I'm running Facebook ad campaigns in unison. You know, let's say they're paying me $500 a month, I'll take $50 a month and run a Facebook ad campaign, $25 to retargeted people, and then $25 to just the cities that I know we're getting a lot of calls from. So that would be my answer to that question.
And of course, the whole do more SEO to the site if you're not getting enough traffic and enough phone calls.
Yes.
Target, do more SEO to the site to get it to rank better as well.
Yes. And I am noticing
Jeremiah's solution there is a great one for that instance, because what you guys can be doing is setting up your Serp tech sites the way they are, because it does become a huge sales leverage that you have that many rankings, and clients don't know SEO like we know SEO. So they're going to see that, they're going to be very, very impressed with it. Right now, if you know in the back end that you're not getting the traffic that you want, then you can do what Jeremiah is suggesting, and you close the deal with the client. You start sending over leads while you're working on improving the rankings of the site, so that eventually you don't have to run Facebook ads. You can if you want. If the client's paying you monthly, you'll always have a budget to do that with. But you could also be doing SEO to the site to improve that situation. You're just buying yourself more time.
Yeah.
Ray, you're out of questions. I'm so happy. I can't believe that this has actually happened, that we came on a webinar where people didn't really have questions to begin with. That just blows my mind, and I honestly think a lot of that might have to do with Bob putting up that spreadsheet, that people have a really fast way of being able to get their questions answered now. So Bob, if you're on the call, look what you did, man. Oh, there you are. I pretty much think you just eliminated questions on the webinar, which is really awesome. It's just funny that we finally got Jeremiah and Nat to come on to answer questions, but it's great. It's actually great because now we can focus on a higher level of stuff, you know, and not re-answering the same old questions. So huge props to Bob for uploading that sheet. I honestly have never seen a webinar where people didn't have questions. I really feel like that's what happened. Okay, sorry, back to Ray.
That, oh, I just got off a call to Bob. He is struggling over in Canada with Wi-Fi and so forth. But yeah, that's an awesome resource. I am using it daily. If you're not using it all the time to check every question that you've got, which obviously people are, that's an awesome resource, and that's a hell of a lot of work that he's done there.
Oh yeah, there's something like 1,600 entries now. I'm not sure if you did the last webinar, but it's crazy how much work you put into that.
Oh, he's good on detail, is Bob.
Ray, how do you take advantage of the Christmas season sales?
Before we go on to the next question, can I just quickly go back to the Forex side?
Yeah.
Just quickly before I lose my train of thought. You don't want to battle with every man and their dog, and going for, you know, the same keywords that they would target. It doesn't. Okay, let's put it this way. If I was going to do a site around Forex, I would be targeting keywords that would drive people to. All right, look, let's look at it this way. People don't get into Forex because they want to trade on a foreign exchange. People get into Forex because they find out about it through a friend or through an ad on Facebook. They see that they can potentially make money from home, you know, all they need is a laptop, computer, yeah, okay. So basically what I would be targeting is the keywords that, or not even the keywords, would be the questions that people want to kind of get the answers to. So I'm not saying something really generic like how to make money online, but you know, it could be in that direction. So rather than just go after Forex, build sites that focus on people who kind of want to escape the rat race, you know, make money from home, make money using a laptop, make money. Does that make sense? Because if you go after just the Forex keywords, like Kurt said, it's going to be very competitive. Obviously, you're going to have a robust backlinking campaign, and obviously it's going to take time. But if you go after the keywords or the questions that people are asking about how to make money online, that probably might drive more traffic than trying to fight everybody in it. Does that make sense?
I love that suggestion, and I love the ability, like if you combine what Jason just said with keyword supremacy's ability to like grab shit, you could put Forex into a keyword and ask a question, Forex how to, and look what pops out. Like there was one in particular that I saw, how to activate an HDFC Forex card. Now that's a killer keyword. I don't know what the search volume is, I'm running it, but let's say that this keyword has search volume. Probably not a lot of people are going after this keyword, and it's still Forex traffic. Right, so you can still get people into your sites by targeting these type of keywords, and then you still have your conversion elements on your site that'll do the job of making the sale for you. But great suggestion how like to ask the questions and go after those types of keywords, and keyword supremacy is another killer tool to help you expand on. Like if guaranteed this, guys, if you guys created a Forex site and had a post that targeted every one of these keywords, your site would have a shit ton of traffic in the Forex market. There's 360 question. ForexHowTo.com or some shit like that. That's a good point, Jason. Okay, let me go back up here to the top.
There's a question here from Boston Bill. Do you mind if I answer that while you're
no,
back?
Go ahead. Jeremiah, sorry, I muted you, not me. I'm trying. There you go. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Okay, so Boston Bill, his question was, what kind of SEO are you doing to the site? Only dividends. I'm kind of doing a mix, and I'm testing. So I like to test, a bunch of different stuff. So I'm churning and burning Serp tech sites just to test SEO. One thing that I have found to be fairly consistent when it comes to helping with the not the indexing, because it'll index on its own really well within 48 hours, but getting the rankings faster is I will actually go and I'll do I don't know if everybody here knows what SendWire is, but there's a couple different types of services like that. I think Alex Becker has one, and you can go on. I go to Conquer.io. And I'll either get a SendWire blast or I think it's called Source Machine blast. They're usually between $3 and $5. And as soon as I launch a site, I'll run 3 different blasts. So I'll run one blast to the main URL, so bostonbill.pro, and then I'll run a second blast to the categories page. And then the third blast is I will do the third blast to whatever the biggest city is in the state that I'm targeting. So, for example, blast 1 will go to bostonbill.pro. Blast 2 will go to bostonbill.pro/Arizona. And the third blast would go to bostonbill/Arizona/Phoenix. And I have found that has helped not only get me a lot more rankings faster, but kind of solidify the rankings faster, so I'm not noticing so much of a drop, come back over the 2 weeks. So that's one thing that I do, and then the second thing that I'll do is I'll buy a kind of like mass PBN pack, and before I start saying who providers are, Kirk and I will need to talk about that, see if it's okay for me to even do that. But there's one guy that I use, and what I'll do is I'll get like 20 links from him, and I'll send 2 to the main page, so bostonbill.pro. I'll send between 3 and 5 to the categories page that are completely general, so again, no keywords. And then I'll just cherry pick cities in my list, and I'll send the rest of the links to those. So I'll send 2 or 3 to this one with URL, click here, more information. And the next one will be URL, click here, URL again. So I'll just switch it up, but I'll usually do that within about 4 to 5 days of launching the site. So I'll launch the site, run the SendWire campaigns, wait a day or 2, then place the order for those links. And that's how I initially start my SEO. And then how I do my SEO, per page that I want to really rank, that's going to have to be for another webinar because that's going to be a long explanation.
Bob, I'm seeing questions about people are still in love with Bob's files and stuff like that and asking for your PayPal link, and he never gave us, he didn't want money, guys. So he never gave it. I'm leaving that decision up to him. If he wants to, Bob, I would do it, man. Like, it's so, look at what you did to the group. I mean, it's been such a huge change. If anyone wants to give you a thank you donation, let them. But that's your call. I know that you're not that kind of guy. But I mean, people are super appreciative, for sure. I know I am. Never thought we'd see a webinar without a list of questions right off the start. Oh, and Bob, those suggestions that you have, rather than us covering those on the webinar, do you mind posting them in the group and just tag Jason as a feature suggest?
Oh, don't be tagging me up in Facebook. You block my Facebook. Send me a PM, Bob.
Or send him a PM, yeah. I just meant post it in the group because it's a closed group. Sue, where do you find Bob's spreadsheet? Well, I posted it in your members area as an embedded spreadsheet, but you can also go to files and right here, Bob Perot. Like if you go to the Serp Tech group and go to files, it's right here. You can download that, and Bob keeps that updated pretty regularly thus far. Rick, how do you promote?
Excuse me, I'm croaky. May I interject? Someone has said, how do you promote a mobile website?
Yeah, go ahead.
Any thoughts? Well, I just think it's the same as you promote another website, but make sure it's mobile responsive. Would that be right?
I would say that, yeah, there's no difference. Maybe I don't understand what he means by mobile website. How do you promote a mobile? Like, what's a mobile website? Do you just need a mobile-friendly website?
I'm assuming it's not an app or something. I'm assuming that it's a website, but he wants it delivered primarily to a mobile audience, in which case I would say that make sure that whatever theme you use, and correct me if I'm wrong, is still mobile responsive when you check it on mobile. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, the other thing with mobile sites is amping them as well. But you do have to understand that AMP does strip out a lot of the CSS, like the design elements, and they try to primarily deliver text and pictures. So that may not be a route you want to go. But on mobile, if you guys ever notice when you're searching for things on Google on your mobile phone, you'll see a shit ton of AMP results. So, I mean, Google does favor AMP pages on mobile results. So it might be something.
What do you mean by AMP?
Accelerated mobile pages.
Right, okay.
So to give you guys an example, this is my site, my Bitcoin site, obviously. But if I just type in AMP on it, it'll change to the AMP version. So this is what loads on mobile. And you can see it's the same page, it's amped so that it displays really quickly on mobile. So Rick, it's not a mobile responsive website, it's an AMP mobile website for a dentist. So you're talking about AMP, about a third of your traffic is from mobile. Yeah, well, I mean, with AMP, you can still add a lot of conversion elements with AMP, I mean, what is it that you can still put your phone numbers and stuff on there, Rick? You know what I mean? Because you're saying it's for a dentist, so I mean, just have big old call to actions on there. I mean, ultimately, it's not really any different than a non-AMP site because all the content is still there. So you really just have to be careful with what content, not what content is there, but like the display, because the display changes so much, right? So you just have to be, you know, working on your AMP design and shit like that. What plugin do you use for AMP, by the way, Rick? You use Google AMP. I'll just show you something. So Todd and I also developed an AMP plugin, and one of the best features we have on it is this cell phone. So that as you're changing, you know, different design elements or menu elements or structured data elements, it's actually loading so that you can see in this mobile phone what your AMP page is going to look like. So it's a real live time design for your AMP. So you might like that. It could help. And that's a free plugin on WordPress, AMP Supremacy, by the way. Email prospecting. Can you walk us through the process with a prospect after you get an email reply expressing interest? Natalie or Jeremiah, you guys would be great to answer that one. What do you do when you have someone contact you about your site saying they're interested?
Oh, I'm up for that one. Firstly, I make sure that I'm speaking to the decision maker, because you don't know if the person that's happened across your site is working for the company and maybe just wanting to do a good thing for the company. Does that make sense? And can you hear me? Give me a 1. Because after that, if you're not speaking to the decision maker, then you want to really make sure that who you're speaking with has some kind of clout within the company. And so generally, I would send them some leads, because it's so hard to sell somebody something if, you know, you're selling against thousands of other SEO companies that are talking BS. And the best thing in the world is if you're speaking to somebody that has some clout, or somebody who has some sort of like way of getting through to the directors. If you're getting a hard time in getting through to the sort of getting past the gatekeepers, is to give them leads. And if you do a good job, and you know, we all hope that we do, I assume, it's so nice, and I've done it so many times, where you just go, warm lead, I've just got this. I had a call of a person in Mayfair, which is on the Monopoly board. It's one of the most expensive areas in probably the world. And a guy called me and he's like, I want all the composite sinks in my kitchens in a block of flats changed to such and such sinks. And I said, well, oh, absolutely, I will deal with that, you know, straight away. And then call your warm leads and go, right, the guy has 20 flats in Mayfair and he wants this. So what I'm trying to say is, like, give them value, because if you go in with a lead and you give them the lead, it is just a no-brainer. You know, you're going from all these assholes like Yellow Pages and stuff that is dead in the water, and they are dead in the water, and they're scratching around and they're screwing people over for massive amount of money, and they're giving them nothing. So my whole thing on that is give them value first, and just go, okay, we will build the site. I'll come back to you in a week. I'll guarantee you, if you've done your work right, there will be leads that phone you. I had one today. I kind of put them off now. I've literally only got one site with an overlay with my number on it. And I get leads like, what, 1, 2 a day? But they're good leads. Now, I'm in construction, and I can tell you that every one of those leads that I speak to is pretty much going to turn into a job, you know, and unless it's dead in the water. But, you know, one lead a week for me is probably worth a couple of thousand in profit. So I would say build the site, give them value, find out what niche they're in, and just say, you know what, I'll come back to you in 2 weeks. if that's okay, and we'll see what comes of it. If you've done your research right, and I remember asking this from Todd and Herc, and I said, well, how does this work? You know, some of the keywords are a bit like Dicky, and maybe people won't be typing that one in. Don't forget that that's not the only keyword that you're going to come up for, is the one that you've put in. You'll come in for variations of that. So I think it was Herc that said to me, in this, you spread your net far and wide, so you saturate a market, and then people, you get the calls, and then you're in a position of going back to people and going, you know what, I'm getting 2 or 3 leads a week. If they're a bit of a warm lead that you've spoken to, it's like, you know what, such and such just called me and they need this. You know what I mean? Like, give them some value, because there's tons of companies out there screwing them over, giving them nothing, and they're not even able to be found on the internet. So give them some value, make you feel good, make them feel good, and make it come to fruition by your generosity. That's what I sort of think about that. I might be off beam, but, you know, that's how I see it. Like, give value, make it worth their while.
Thank you, Nat. Just Kath, just for anybody that's asking about the AMP stuff, I don't want to go too much into AMP and what AMP is and whatnot, but I just took this picture. So this was a keyword research for investing in Bitcoin, and see right here, guys, AMP. This is off my phone. I screen cap my phone results on Google. AMP, AMP, AMP. Google Mobile really favors AMP. So I just wanted to show you that. That's why AMP's like a big deal for mobile. It won't affect your content of your site. It just creates another page with the /AMP, so that Google can serve that page instead of your regular page. So you're competing against all these sites, but if you're not amped, you're probably not going to win that competition. The thing though with AMP and Serp Tech though, guys, and we've said this already, they don't play nice together because of the overlays and whatnot. So just forget about AMP for Serp Tech sites. Until maybe we can figure something out. Just as of right now, we don't have anything. Stefan, if you make an affiliate site in a competitive niche, will it help in local searches to add cities to the URL? For example, how to find love and then add in the city. Okay, so yes, it will. Obviously, anything, you have to understand on-page optimization, right? The things that are in your title and your URL, as well as your description and your H1, they're on-page optimization elements, and having those things exist in there like a geographical modifier is obviously going to make that page more relevant to the keywords that people are searching for. Now, do people search for how to find love in Phoenix? I don't know. That's the keyword research aspect of things, right? So to me, guys, it always falls in this order: keyword research, okay, then you build the site and optimize it, then you build backlinks, right? Then once all that's done, then you can get traffic and you profit from it. Todd and I always kind of talk about, you know, the 4 cores of SEO the way that we see them, and it's always been, let me pull this up. It's always been the same order. SEO changes all the time, but this never does. Find, okay, you have to find keywords, right? Build, you have to build the sites optimized for the keywords, right? Rank, okay? After you've done this step properly, if you're in a competitive niche, okay, ranking means offsite optimization, okay, and that's backlinks into your money site. Okay, this ranking one can happen if you do these well enough. Okay, and that's what Serp Tech is so good at all the on-page elements of SEO. That's how you guys are. A lot of you guys are able to skip this 3rd step because you're targeting easier keywords and shit like that. So you're finding keywords and you're building your sites and you're ranking. But when you start going from easy keywords to rank for to hard keywords to rank for, this step becomes really crucial again. Okay, ranking, that means building backlinks to your site to rank for those harder, more competitive keywords. And then finally, Okay, once you've got those 3 steps right, that's when you profit, and the elements of profiting are like on-site conversion elements, right? You're converting your visitors into buyers, you're converting your visitors into an action like a phone call, and then the phone call does the conversion element. But those are the 4 core concepts of search engine optimization as I've always known it, and it's never changed. And you have to get this one right before you do this one. And you have to get this one right before you do this one, and you have to get this one right before you do this one, because that's the natural progression of things. People search a keyword, right? They find your website because it's ranking on Google, then they take an action. So you kind of have to follow that. So that I know that's a long answer, Stefan, to a short question. But yes, adding geo will help you rank geographically. Will it help you rank nationally? No, I think actually it would hurt you nationally because you're specifying a geo.
Well, I'm working on a build at the moment that's not geo-located but service located within a national, and that's where I'm falling into. You know, I'm going through your affiliate training, you know, and it's not an affiliate, it's for my business, but I'm like, oh my god, trying to get the URLs looking right and trying to get it into my head of how to construct the URLs is really difficult. And it's not impossible, it's just that you're going for a harder market because you're going for a national, and it takes a little bit more thought and a little bit more time. So I'll post in Facebook sort of what I come up with as I come up with it, if that helps anyone. Let me know if that's of use, because yeah, it's kind of tricky for me to think about that.
Do you use a URL generator?
I have been, and I'm using it. You know, I keep having to dip in and out. But yeah, I am definitely using the URL generator.
It's extremely
imperative.
helpful.
Yeah, it's
extremely
imperative.
helpful in visualization, because SerpTech, sorry, I'm chewing on ice. SerpTech has a lot of ins and outs, and that URL generator will just kind of show you an example of every type of URL that'll be formed from the inputs that you give to SerpTech. So it's a visualization tool. I'm huge on visualization.
I normally feel, and I don't know if anyone else feels like this, and there's a lot of people in here who are very techy, and I would normally think that I'm quite quick, but in this stuff I find that I'm quite slow, and I have to go away and think about it and think about it again. But yeah, that URL tool is imperative in stuff like affiliate or nationals, and thinking about nationals. The juice and the PBNs and all of that link juice and stuff like that is easy peasy for me. I find the structure of it really hard.
Rick just posted a question that gave me a very, very unique and interesting idea, and I really want to, he said, do you think having a separate AMP website to the regular website is a good idea? And that actually gave me an idea, Rick. So what you can do, guys, right now when I just said forget about AMP for SerpTech sites, forget that I said forget about that, okay? Here's what you can do based on what Rick said and what Natalie said in the past. Natalie builds 2 SerpTech sites, and she uses one specifically to grab the articles so that she could post them in CDNs for the purpose of backlinks. But the second SerpTech site, if you wanted, you could put AMP on it. You cannot overlay it with AMP, but you could put AMP on it as long as you have a really good, strong call to action on the top of the page, so that actually shows up. So let me just kind of go back to this example, because remember, AMP's going to strip all the content out of your sites, and this is giving me a killer idea actually. So I'm going to load 2. This is the actual website, like it looks like on a computer or tablet or a cell phone, even if you were to visit the site. But if you go through Google search on a mobile phone, instead of that, you'll arrive at this. So if you search certain keywords and you arrive at this site, through a mobile phone, you'll get the AMP page. So now, what if this was a Serp Tech site that had all the shit that you wanted on it, right? But up here was just a big old call to action, right? So what that mobile phone person is going to see is like they're going to search like, you know, Plumber Phoenix, and they're going to see your AMP page ranking up there, because on mobile you're going to outrank everyone just for amping your sites, and you immediately put a call to action. Like even this image could be a call to action image and a feature image, right? So thanks, Rick, for saying that, because now I'm going to retract what I said earlier about forget amping your Serp Tech sites. I would just say build 2 Serp Tech sites, one specifically for overlaying and trying to sell the site. Build another one as a test, same market, same place, same keywords, same inputs, and amp it. And that's specifically to rank for mobile, and amp and put a call to action instead of an image. Or you could do it with text, or you could do it with this image. And I'd be very, very interested to see how that affected things, because amp really is a big deal on mobile, and you guys all know a lot of people search mobilely, so that could be a leg up on everyone just by amping your sites. Crazy cool idea, Rick. Was I muted? No, I wasn't. So yeah, Rick, I do think that would be a really good idea. And we'll actually try it on some of the sites that we have. Would you rather direct your amped image site to the over? Okay, Bruce, but that's the one thing I said you can't do. Remember, okay, and to be very, very clear on this, can't overlay an AMP page. So you either have an AMP site that you don't put an overlay on it. Well, you do too. You have the regular site for desktop, and you overlay that, and then you build another site on another domain specifically, and you amp that site. And that one is just for pure conversions. I hope there was a webinar that we had, I think it was 2 or 3 webinars ago, where a guy came on and he wanted an analysis of his site, but there was no analysis needed. It was just such a badass site. He had, I forget what it was, I wish I could remember, but he had all the conversion elements right on his Serp Tech site. Like he really made his Serp Tech site look really pretty, and had great calls to action all over it and stuff like that. And that's something that you can do with AMP and shit like that. I wish I could remember it, but that's what you're going after with this AMP scenario. You're trying to capture mobile traffic and immediately display a call to action element, which really is, you know, right there. You could try that, Kevin. He's saying, could you possibly build on a subdomain? Because Google does treat subdomains differently than they treat main domains, so you could try that. It's worth testing. Rick, so basically you don't build a separate mobile-friendly website. You add AMP as a plugin to the regular website, so that the mobile. No. Okay, there's a huge difference. Okay, now we're getting deeper into AMP now because of this idea. There's a huge difference, guys, between mobile responsive sites and AMP sites. Okay, AMP and mobile responsiveness are 2 completely different things. Let me give you an example. Okay, let me show you the difference. Mobile responsive test. You could just type in shit like this, okay? Responsinator is a good example. How does my website look on a mobile phone? Right? That's what mobile response, a mobile responsive site is, or mobile friendly. A lot of people like to call them. So I'm going to enter my site and click go. Okay, and it's going to show me, okay, whatever, you're on an HTTPS, blah 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 blah, whatever. I don't care. Just let me show it. Mobile responsive, does it stack properly? Does it look good? Okay, this is a mobile friendly site because everything moves around to display properly on the mobile phone. Okay, but you can't confuse that. Sorry, I got background noise. You can't confuse that with AMP. This is AMP, right? AMP sites basically strip all the slow loading heavy shit out of a web page to make it load really, really quickly. Okay, so that's AMP, accelerated mobile pages. Mobile friendly just means it takes the sidebar and moves it over underneath so that it displays nice on mobile friendly. So now to answer your question, Rick, what I'm saying is with your Serp Tech site, you're going to have one that is not only mobile friendly, okay, but you're going to overlay it. So you're building it asbestos law.pro. Okay, so this site, for instance, let's say we're working on this site. This was one of the early builds that we did on a webinar for you guys. Okay, so this is what most people have seen for as far as Serp Tech sites. Now, this site, you can make it mobile friendly so it displays nicely on mobile. And this one you might want to overlay, and that's good, keep it like that. But what you want to do is build a second one, maybe asbestos law or lawyer, oh, Jesus, okay, asbestos lawyer.pro, and you're going to use all the same inputs. You're going to use everything the same. You're going to build the Serp Tech the exact same, but you're going to install AMP Supremacy, okay, so that when the pages get amped, they show up. Now, I don't have it on here, that's why you're seeing that. But when they get amped, they display on mobile phones, and it would immediately be a call to action. Does that make sense? Give me a 1 if I'm making sense, or a 2 if you guys are still a bit confused. Same articles for the AMP version, George, yeah. Just build 2 sites, okay? Same sheet, same keywords, same tags, same everything. Just build an exact duplicate on the second one. Download and install AMP Supremacy. Do you guys want to see me do it to this site right now? Even though this is yeah, okay, let me do it for you guys, okay? Oh, look at that, I already have it on there. Oh shit, I already have it on there. I didn't even know that. Okay, so asbestos law.pro. Let me see what it looks like in AMP. Okay. I didn't know I had it on there, to be honest with you. Okay, there you go. There's the site, what it looks like in AMP. And all you got to do to install it, guys, when you install AMP Supremacy, this is what's going to show up, okay, this plugin. And then you just go through the items. Do you want to amp your pages? Do you want to amp your posts, categories, tags, home? Stuff like that. Just go through all the settings. It's very, very simple, guys. Okay, you'll see things. Okay, so for instance, you'll see things changing in the phone as you change things. So for instance, I want us to hide the site name in the header. If you turn that on, okay, this will reload, and there you go. It hit it. Hide the featured image from the AMP pages. Turn that on, and that'll hide any imagery that you have as a featured image. Okay, so you're literally designing and looking at how your design's going to look. Okay, so we have a bunch of tags here. Maybe we want to hide those. No, because we want a call to action, a really fast call to action. So there you go. Now I hide my post tags. Do I want to display my post categories? Maybe not. Maybe yeah. It's up to you guys. Like, this is just design, right? But one thing you do want to make sure of with your AMP, you want to make damn well sure that you have a really fast call to action. So maybe you don't want to hide the featured image from your AMP pages, but you do want to supply a featured image that's like, are you in need of a plumber? Call us now. Or you could even add a bit to your Serp Tech pages, okay, in your posts and your categories, where the first words on your, let's go to our posts. The first words on your post are like a call to action. And it's, remember, that's specifically for your amped sites, right? So let's take an example here. Let's edit this post up, okay? And you could do this with the Serp Tech build to begin with, like by just supplying the right build, okay? So where are we at? We're in asbestos class action lawsuits, and let's do this. Free asbestos lawyer consults. Call now, 1-800-555-1234, okay? Okay, so I'm just going to update this page. Okay, now I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to go to the amped version of that page. Okay, so does it look good? I'd have to do something better. Okay, so that's all I'm saying is you're going to get these call to actions really, really good with the design elements of AMP. It's free. AMP Supremacy is free. George, do you use the same domain? Well, you can't use the same domain because you can only register one domain at a time. You could change the extension. You can add a stop word. You can add an S. You can add a vest. You can't use the same domain unless you put it on a subdomain. And you can test that. You can test a subdomain if you like. Yeah, guys, I would. I wouldn't do it every. People are asking, would you use the exact same build and stuff like that? So if we go into the Serp tech, what we're talking about right now, guys, is the inputs, right? We're talking about the keywords, the tags, the content articles, you know, stuff like that. Would you reuse it for your AMP version? Yeah, I would. Why not? But if you want to be more careful and you want to have new content, you want to target new keywords, then don't. Get new content, get new keywords. It's totally up to you guys, right? But if you want a quick test, if you just want a quick test, here's my suggestion for a very, very quick test. Register a very, very similar domain, set up Serp tech on it again, right? Use the same inputs, and then install AMP Supremacy on it, and go through AMP Supremacy using the mobile designer to get your page to look like you want it to on a cell phone with it. And the one thing you really need, guys, is a call to action really fast. Okay, so like let me see. What other things could we do here? Hide site name. Okay, oh no, we want to hide the site name. You probably want to show the featured image if you're going to use your featured image see, there's the featured image. Imagine that right there said, you know, free consult in Pennsylvania for a lawyer. Call 1-800 blah blah blah. There's your conversion element above the fold on the phone right away. Okay, screw the author name. That's useless information. Post date, get rid of that. That's useless information. There you go. So there's your H1, and then there's your featured image. Make it a call to action. Can you put tap to call buttons on the AMP Serp build? I'm not 100% sure, George. We'll have to look into that.
Art,
Yeah.
I gotta jump off here to
Okay.
an opportunity. But is there anything that I need to address real quick before I do?
No, not really. If you want to say anything, go ahead. If you need to run, that's cool.
Nope. Just thanks for the questions, guys, and for those that I answered, I hope I answered it the way that you needed and got the info that you wanted. So I'll catch you all later.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. There's a lot of AMP questions here. The WP buttons should allow tap to call functionality, just a shortcut. I'm not sure about that one, guys. Yeah, that's just something that you'd have to test. I haven't done it, so I don't want to say yes or no on it. Right now, everything I'm giving you guys is just an idea that came up, a second build for using AMP. So
I think that's amazing, you know, that you get a question and you've sort of answered. I don't know, as we say in Australia, pissing in your pocket. But that is pretty amazing that you've like come up with a question and kind of answered how to do it, and that's something that will, I am sure, in your world go back into process. Those call to actions, or this tap to action, is not it's not massive, but you still have to kind of cloak it from Google, you know, as in what you're doing. Am I right there?
I'm not even sure. Like if I know, like, I mean, if there's a button, like I know there's buttons on phones that have call to actions in searches. Not searches, but once you click in. Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
Look, with mobile, obviously you want people to take action. You've done it yourself. If you go into a site and you've seen the number and you think, well, call this number, you don't want to be copy and pasting numbers. So you definitely need a tap to call button, but that tap to call needs to be trackable as well. Yeah. So there's free and premium type plugins out there which you can use. Now, if you are going to use it with AMP, that's a different question now, because AMP does, as Perk says, it really does restrict what you can and cannot do. And that's for a reason in terms of making it, very fast, mobile responsive, etc. But if you are doing mobile, I would highly suggest, if you are doing sites, that make sure your sites are mobile ready. That if you are doing stuff like pay-per-core, make sure you have a tap to call button. Believe me, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Ensure you have that on there.
That's an easy thing to test too, guys. Like, I mean, look at me right now as Jason's like saying that, put a tap to call. I just search for what Jason's saying, tap the call button, WordPress plugin, boom, there it is. Test this one. If it doesn't work how I want it to work, move on to the next one. And then, of course, the other thing is that, 3 out of 4 of us left on this webinar, or 2 out of 4 of us are developers. Todd and I have a development team. Don't think that for a second that we're not going to be looking deeper into AMP for this kind of stuff, because anything that we can do to develop that's going to help you guys, we're going to do it. So if AMP has any sort of coding that can be done to allow a tap to call, damn, we're going to put that in there. But for now, you just have to manually search this kind of shit.
Just before I go, also, is there any questions that anyone has for me? Just, to address anything specific? That'd be a no.
It sometimes takes a while just for people to type.
I know. It's okay.
While you guys are typing, would the tap to call button create a pattern on that AMP Serp site similar to an outbound link? No, I don't think so, George. Couldn't the AMP button be done in CSS? Possibly, I don't know yet. What's your newbie sales tips, Nat?
Yeah, right.
That's a pretty big question. I mean, that's like saying, how do you do SEO?
Oh, honestly, like I said before, there is okay, may I relate a story, and it might be a bit boring. I'll try not to make it boring, but I spoke to a guy, and he owns an auto mechanic shop in a small place, kind of where I live, Leighton Buzzard. Go targeted if you like. He had been targeted by a big national company to have his site built for him. Now, when I was seeing that, I was just like, I can maybe help you out, let's have a look for your site. We couldn't even find his site in a tiny place called Leighton Buzzard for motor mechanics, MOTs, you just couldn't find it. And he'd paid £1,200, so that's about what? I don't know, $1,800, nearly $2,000, and you couldn't even find his site. And I was just going, Jesus Christ, I can help there, So then you just go, okay, well, is he going to be worth my time to do it? Because at the beginning, you kind of go, yeah, let's help everybody and let's give freebies away. And then sometimes you have to kind of pull yourself back and go, okay, I'm overloaded. Now I need to sort of make money. So I would say that the people in terms of leads, and I know it sounds a little bit dicky, but they're bloody everywhere, because these huge multinationals that do bugger all are just cleaning up, and you only have to go and speak to somebody, and don't sell. That's my thing. It's like, never sell. Just go, what are you doing for your marketing? How is that working? How many leads do you get? Don't pitch it, just ask. Because if you ask, and you ask open-ended questions like, so how is that working for you? Where is your marketing come from? Where are your clients? And everyone will say, oh, everybody knows me here, in a small town. Everyone will sort of go, everyone knows me here. It's all word by mouth. And it's like, oh, yeah. But if people don't see you, they will drop off. Have you noticed a drop-off? They 90% have. I would just say ask the right questions of the people that you know. And if you're just breaking into it, you can do some really bloody amazing work with this stuff. This is, I can't describe to you how good these products are. It's not like off-the-shelf crap that, you know, some other hokey. I have seen web designers who've, oh, I'd love to show you one actually. I went into a site, the woman actually rang me, and I looked at the website and I just went, oh my God, there's no meta tags, there's no keywords, there's no optimization, there's no links, there's no nothing. Do you know how much that web design company was going to charge her? £500 a month. That's what, $800, I would think, around there, per month, just to host a website that is going to bring them nothing. So we went and built like one site, and within 1 week we've got what, 300 sort of visits. I mean, my God, you don't have to be an asshole, you just have to be bloody ethical. You know, you just have to do the right thing. And then you just have to give it a little bit generously, hospitality-wise, and just go, oh my God, you know what? I've got a couple of leads for you, you know, and people in certain towns, I would think, if they're outside of a big town, you know, like here, we're near to London, people are traveling, you know, bloody 3-4 hours for a job into London to get the big money. So you don't have to be mercenary or asshole about it. You just have to sort of go, you know what, I've got another lead for you. Let's do this. So I would say just be creative and generous and learn the craft and then give it out. And I'll tell you, and then stuff starts dropping in your lap and you're just going, shit, 200? £300 a lead? Bloody hell, who gets that? You know, you're not going to get it off Ring Partners or whatever those sort of like hokey sort of sites are. You just need to be generous and good at your craft. So you just need to dive in, do it, and do it well. And everybody that I've met that's helped me up has been in this Facebook group and other Facebook groups, but mostly in this one, you know, where you just go, okay, you know, dive in, ask the questions if you're stuck. If somebody says to you it's in the training, then heads up, it's in the bloody training and you need to do the training. Don't think that you can wing this. You will never, ever wing this. You need to learn it. And the rewards will come. And then you just have to speak to people. You don't even have to speak to people. You just have to listen, because people will tell you, oh, I'm struggling for business, or I'm having a hard time. And then you just go, oh, great, I can go in there and I can bloody help. So I don't know. I'm not being evangelistic. I'm just sort of saying it's really lovely. What was that thing that I wrote on my daughter's wall, which was a rising tide elevates all the ships. And I love that. And it's like, well, if you feel that way, this is an awesome way of doing it. Get clever at what you do, listen, learn shitloads, and dive in and do it, because it's a no-brainer. Over to you guys.
Okay, we're gonna have to start wrapping this one up because I gotta go. Great webinar again, though. Lots of cool new shit and ideas for everyone to go out there and test. And what do you guys think? Give me a score out of 10 how much you enjoyed the webinar today. 11. 10s, lots of 10s, always. Okay, good. Yeah, I think there was a lot of cool stuff. We started a little slow, but that's good. I think that's good because I think Bob did. Bob's spreadsheet had the absolute intended effect that I wanted it to have, and that's why we're going to get into a lot more of this type of stuff where we're coming up with new ideas, and Natalie's going to start teaching more about sales, and Jeremiah's going to start teaching more about, you know, Facebook pixels and advertising, just like new shit that we've never really covered, right? So thanks, Bob, again and again and again for having done that for everybody. The butterfly effect from you doing that one thing is already definitely present here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, James, we are going to do another V3 webinar that we're going to go deeper into V3 to show you guys what all the new changes are. We're just waiting a couple days. Like the guys, the coding team's working their asses off right now to really get things going, and I'm using it and abusing it every single day, so that we can, you know, when we do that webinar, it's going to be pretty soon. All that shit will at least be done. So we'll start doing webinars for Project Supremacy related shit, and this Serp Tech webinar will be for Serp Tech related, excuse me, shit. We'll add another webinar, and I think we're going to get Terry Samuels on the Project Supremacy webinars to start teaching his stuff about schema, because he's absolutely badass at it. Although, as much as I'm starting to use it, I'm getting pretty good. Bob, people are still asking for your PayPal address. That's up to you, man. That's up to you. But I mean, I'm sure people buying you a beer over PayPal to say thanks for, you know, that thing is just consider it.
Oh my God, I'm so on to Bob to get a pay me sort of PayPal link. I'm sure I'll be chatting to him after this.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that CTO button didn't work, Rick. I was actually doing that while Natalie was talking, and but I don't think it's going to be hard to look at our AMP coding and see why, because I think it's just it needs to go into the AMP. So we'll definitely look at that. But yeah, if we can add that, I can see it on my phone. If I go to because I activated it on the site, if I go as a mobile referrer to any URL of this asbestoslaw.pro page, I can see the whole bottom shows up as a. I will cover that right now. Let me do a. Todd, do you know a site that I can change the header to mobile header? Off the top of your head?
No.
Well, anyways, we'll look that up. But right now, guys, if you look at any URL on asbestoslaw.pro from a mobile phone, you will see the whole bottom shows up as a call button. But unfortunately, in AMP, it's not showing up. But I don't think that's going to be that hard to get that working. So we'll do what we can in AMP to have that work.
I'll put that on pray tonight.
Yeah. All right. I have to go. I have to go pick up a coffee table.
Sweet.
18
All
days
right,
no cigarettes. By the way.
18 days.
18 days no cigarettes.
Wow.
Pretty proud.
Good. Congrats.
Yeah. It's a big one. Okay, guys. Thanks again, Natalie. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Todd.
Cool.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Good luck on your meeting.
Yeah, that's it, guys. We will see all of you a couple of times next week. Like Kirk said, we're going to schedule a little V3 webinar someday next week, and we'll also be having another one of these next Wednesday. So looking forward to it. Everybody have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.